I stood up in the middle of class and told my teacher she was a liar. She started crying. I wasn't the kind of kid who caused problems. Straight A's. Never got detention. Teachers loved me. I was invisible in the best way. So when I stood up in Mrs. Glass's English class and called her a liar in front of everyone, people thought I'd lost my mind. Maybe I had, but I'd spent 3 weeks watching her destroy a kid's future, and I couldn't stay quiet anymore. His name was Deshaun, Jr. like me. Smart, quiet, kept to himself. He'd been accused of plagiarizing his college application essay. Mrs. Glass said she had proof, said she found the original online, said she had no choice but to report him to the administration. Deshaun's early admission to Duke got rescinded. His scholarship disappeared. His future evaporated in a week. Everyone believed her. Why wouldn't they? She was Mrs. Glass, Teacher of the Year 3 times. But I knew something nobody else did. I knew where that original essay came from, because I was there when Deshaun wrote it. Deshaun and I weren't close. We had one class together and sometimes studied in the same corner of the library. But I was there the day he finished his college essay. Watched him read it out loud to himself, making sure every word was perfect. He'd been working on it for weeks. It was about his grandmother, how she raised 5 kids on a janitor's salary, how she still woke up at 4 a.m. every day even though she was 67 years old, how he promised her he'd make it out and come back for her. When he got into Duke, the whole school knew. Teachers congratulated him in the hallways. His grandmother came to pick him up that day. Tiny woman. Couldn't stop smiling. 3 weeks later, it was gone. Mrs. Glass reported him for plagiarism, said his essay matched one posted online months before. Deshaun was too shocked to fight it. His grandmother was too old to understand what had happened, but I understood. So I went looking for the essay Mrs. Glass claimed was the original. Found it on some shady essay mill website. Checked the upload date. It was posted 2 weeks after Deshaun submitted his application. Someone stole his work and uploaded it. I knew I couldn't access the school system myself, but my cousin worked IT for the district. I told him what I suspected. He looked into it, said he could lose his job, but did it anyway. And when he checked who had access to student application essays at our school, only one name came up. Monday morning, Mrs. Glass's class. I waited until attendance was done, until she started her lecture on symbolism in The Great Gatsby. Then I stood up. I have a question about plagiarism. She looked at me with that fake warm smile. Of course. What's your question? If someone steals an essay and uploads it to a website and then accuses the original writer of plagiarism, what would you call that? The smile flickered. I'm not sure I understand. Deshaun's essay, the one you said was plagiarized. I found it online. Yes, that's the evidence. It was uploaded 2 weeks after he submitted his application. Silence. That's impossible, she said, but her voice cracked. I have screenshots, timestamps. I also pulled the access logs from the school system. Want to know who accessed Deshaun's application essay 3 days before it appeared on that website? She didn't answer. You did. The class erupted. Kids pulling out phones, whispering, some laughing nervously. Mrs. Glass stood frozen at the front of the room. Her hands were shaking. You ruined his life, I said. You took his scholarship, his future, his grandmother's dream. For what? She didn't answer. Just started crying. Sat down at her desk and put her head in her hands. Someone had already texted the principal. He walked in 5 minutes later. I handed him everything. He didn't say a word, just looked at Mrs. Glass, then at me and nodded. She was gone by lunch. Deshaun got into Duke. Again, full ride restored. Mrs. Glass got charged with fraud. Lost her teaching license. I heard she moved out of state. I never found out exactly why she did it. Her nephew got into Duke that same year off the wait list. Maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe not. People ask me sometimes if I feel bad for her. I don't. I think about Deshaun's grandmother. That tiny woman who worked her whole life so her grandson could have a future. Mrs. Glass tried to take that away. I just gave it back.